Good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you are at LinkedIn. Super excited for today because I have a very educational live for you on how to sound assertive without overpowering. So I'm going to give you guys all a minute to settle in. Please grab your pens, grab your papers. We're going to be talking about a lot. But before we begin, do say hello to me in the chat box. Let me know where you are from. And also let me know if you are an introvert or if you are an extrovert. I would love to see who you are. And it's always great for me to see where these lives are being broadcast, who it's reaching. So please let me know in the chat box. Do say hello to me. And I will definitely love to connect with you. And yeah, do say hello. If some of you guys don't know who I am, let me introduce myself quickly. I am Maria Malik. I am an executive speaking coach, and I help introverted leaders become great public speakers in the realm of the corporate world. So give better presentations, speak more during meetings, and of course, just be more confident and present in the corporate environment. So we're going to get started because I have a lot to cover today, and it is the first live after a long time, so I'm really excited. I do want to do more of these. If you guys enjoy them, please let me know. But let's get into it. So before we officially start, by the way, I do have exciting news. I can't talk about much yet, but I am launching something very soon. And to be honest, you guys, I think this is something that I have been preparing for. It's been 5 years since I've been doing this here on LinkedIn. And I think that everything I have done up till now has prepared me for what I am launching. And I'm so excited for it. Like I said, cannot tell you a lot yet, but if you do want to be the first to know when I officially start speaking about what it is and launching it and everything, I would love to invite you to join my waitlist. If you're an introverted leader, if you want to get better at public speaking, this is going to be for you, and it's going to be amazing. There's so much I've put into this. You guys are going to love it. To join, all you have to do is go onto my profile, click on I want in, and I want to join the waitlist, or you could go to www.mariamalik.co. Again, www.mariamalik.co. Or again, you can go onto my profile. Actually, let me show you guys quickly what it looks like. Let me share my screen if I have it up here. Yep. So yeah, you just go to my profile, click on I want in, join the waitlist, or you can go to www.mariamalik.co. Hopefully it comes up. These things are kind of weird sometimes. There you go. So you're going to see become the most respected voice in the room, exclusive access. So if you want to be the first to get the perks, you want to be the first to hear about the bonuses and get special offers for what's to come, all you do is put in your first name, last name, email, and click submit. So that's just a little bit about the waitlist, but more on that later. You'll hear more about it. But of course, like I said, do join if you want exclusive access and all the bonuses and everything. Okay, let's get started. So what we are talking about today is how to sound more assertive without overpowering. Now, being an introverted leader, it's so important to be able to sound more assertive. Okay, so we're going to go over a couple different things. We're going to talk about what assertiveness really is, why assertiveness matters for introverted leaders especially. We're going to talk about what you can avoid. We're also going to talk about what you can do to sound more assertive, and then we'll wrap it up from there. Okay, so if this is of interest to you, like I said, grab your pen, grab your paper, and make some notes. Okay, so let's get into it. What is assertiveness? So assertiveness is basically the ability to express your thoughts, your needs, and your boundaries very confidently and respectfully. And it's also a way of balancing clarity with consideration for other people that are around you. Okay, I know that there's like that misconception. People think that assertiveness is being rude, it's being very dominant. But if you're an introverted leader, you don't like to do that, most likely. I don't like to do that. I'm an introvert, and most of my clients don't like to do that. So we still, at the same time, don't want to be the nice guy and get walked all over. That's why it's so important for you as an introverted leader to have that assertiveness. Now, why does it matter? Okay, let's talk about that for a second. Assertiveness matters because number one, it builds credibility. So it ensures that your ideas are taken seriously, and it also fosters trust among the people that you are speaking to. It also helps you overcome stereotypes. So things like hesitation, lack of confidence. So when you're not assertive, that's usually how people view you. Another thing that assertiveness does is that it really helps you enhance collaboration. So whether you're part of a team or you're sitting in that meeting with C-suite executives, being assertive really kind of opens up communication and sets clear boundaries. So that's something that you should really consider if you're not sure you want to sound more assertive or not. The other thing is that sounding more assertive also reduces miscommunication. So you have to be able to ensure that your message is heard clearly and it's leaving some type of impact, especially if you're a leader. If you don't care about that, then of course it doesn't matter. But if you are someone that wants to make sure that your presence is felt in every room that you walk into, you have to reduce miscommunication because while you're there, people have to understand you, they have to listen to you. Lastly, assertiveness also matters for introverted leaders because it boosts your confidence. If you're a leader, you have to portray some level of confidence in your thoughts, your beliefs, yourself, because this is going to empower your personal and professional growth. Not only that, but if you don't believe in yourself, why would anyone else? If you're not confident in yourself, why would anyone be confident in what you're saying and what you're selling, whether it's your idea, your belief system, or if you're sitting in that interview? Why would anyone buy that? Okay, if you're not assertive enough. So now that we've talked about why assertiveness matters, let's get into the things to avoid. I want to cover what to avoid first because I feel like that will take care of half of the problem. Most introverts do a lot of this, especially from what I have seen. And from what after working with my clients, this is typically what I'm seeing most of, okay? So what are some things you want to avoid? By the way, if you're just joining, do say hello in the chat box and let me know where you are from as well, okay? So what should you avoid? There are many things that you need to avoid if you want to sound more assertive, starting with avoiding that kind of upward inflection in your voice. What does that mean? So speaking with kind of like that rising tone at the end of every sentence, it almost makes you sound very unsure of what you're saying. And it's almost like you're asking a question instead of making a statement. So always make sure that you're not ending with that high inflection, but you're ending more on a mellow, more stronger tone, if that makes sense. You also want to avoid speaking too softly. Now, I see this in a lot of introverts. I'm like that too. Naturally, I speak very confidently, but I know that when I have to do a live like this, or I'm doing a training, or sitting in a room where I want to be able to talk about my ideas and be taken seriously, I do have to kind of eliminate that nice soft voice that I typically speak in. So that's something you absolutely want to make sure you're avoiding. It's also speaking too softly makes you come off as a little bit more hesitant, and it shows that you're lacking confidence. Okay. Even if you're not, but unfortunately, that's just how people will portray you. Okay. The next thing you want to avoid if you want to sound more assertive is you want to avoid filler words, like, or anything else that undermines your authority and clarity. Now, I feel like I could have a debate with people about this because some people say, hey, it's okay to use filler words. And I would say, yes, to a certain extent, it is okay. If you have maybe 1 or 2 filler word per minute, okay, that's fine. That's very normal. Sometimes it actually sounds nice when somebody asks you a question, you're like, because it shows you're thinking. But if you are trying to convey an idea and if you're really trying to kind of leave an impact, you can't have too many filler words. Those ums and uhs make you look nervous. It makes it seem like you're not 100% sure about what you're talking about. So it's better to just eliminate them completely. I still use a few filler words here and there. Like I said, it's okay to have a few. We're not trying to sound perfect, but we are trying to sound confident. So avoid using filler words if you want to sound more confident. You also want to avoid speaking too quickly. So if you're kind of rushing through your words, it does make you seem and look a lot more nervous and unprepared. So one of the best things that you could do for yourself, for your confidence, for you to think more clearly is really slow down and take your time. Take your time when you're speaking. It's such a power move. People don't understand. The second you slow down your pace, all of a sudden your heartbeat isn't beating so fast anymore. You're a little bit more relaxed. And when you're more relaxed, you can think more clearly. You'll come up with better ideas. You'll come up with better sentence structures. Everything kind of falls in place when you really slow down your pace. Next, if you want to sound more assertive, you want to avoid excessive apologies. So constantly like apologizing, sorry about this, or making statements like sorry, but this really weakens your position. So if you're interrupting someone or if you're trying to interject, okay, yes, then you can use something like, sorry, but I actually need to add something here, but don't overdo it, especially if you're the one talking the whole time, okay? So avoid those sorries and avoid that kind of that hesitant language when you're sitting in that boardroom and you want to make sure people are taking you seriously, okay? Next up, you want to also avoid over-explaining. So giving too much detail or really justifying yourself unnecessarily can make you seem very unsure or a little bit defensive even. You want to avoid that completely, okay? Over-explaining, I know a lot of introverts, they think a lot. So they feel like their message hasn't really kind of hit home. So they try to over-explain. And that's what I mean by that. Talking about the same thing over again in different ways. Avoid that completely. Be very clear and concise about what you're saying. You don't necessarily have to speak a lot or be the loudest person in the room to be heard. Instead, wouldn't it be better if you were that person that when you did speak, you spoke less, but when you did speak, everyone turned their head and listened? So if you want to do that, you want to avoid over-explaining yourself. Okay, I promise you, whatever you're trying to say, you can say it in less words. Okay, focus on that. Next, last thing you want to avoid if you're trying to look and sound more assertive is slouching or poor posture. So any type of non-verbal cue, so your body language, your eye contact, your expressions, or even cues like slouching down like this, or avoiding eye contact, looking down like that, it can really distract from the assertiveness of your voice. Also, if you're kind of slouching down, you'll probably notice that your voice doesn't come out as clear versus when you're sitting up like this, your back is straight, your shoulders are back. Now, all of a sudden, it's almost like alerting your body to like, hey, okay, wait, something's going on. Like, let me wake up. So you want to make sure you are sitting up and you have good posture, especially when you're sitting. When we're standing, it's a little bit easier, but when we're sitting, we're so used to putting our hands on the armrest, kind of leaning back. You want to avoid that completely if you want to look and sound assertive. Okay, so these are the things that you want to avoid doing if you're going to sound assertive. Now, we're going to get into what you should be doing. But if you're finding this helpful so far, say yes in the chat box. Just drop a yes if you learned something right now and if you're going to apply some of the stuff that I talked about. Remember, we covered a lot of things about what to avoid. So say yes in the chat box. And I want to see how many of you are paying attention, how many of you are taking notes, and how many of you are taking away from this live today. Okay, so drop a yes in the chat box if you're finding this helpful. Now, before I continue, again, one more reminder, I am launching something very, very soon for introverted leaders who want to become better public speakers, better communicators, and become better leaders in the corporate world. If that sounds like you, and you want to be one of the first people to hear about the perks, the bonuses, and if you want to be notified about when the launch is going to happen, of course, take advantage of all the perks early on, then do join my waitlist. I have it open. It's on my profile. You can click on my profile and then click on I want in, join profile, or you can go directly to www.mariamalik.co. CO, not com. Com is a whole other story. We can talk about that later. But mariamalik.co. Okay. If that doesn't work for you, second option, go to my profile, but make sure you come back to this so that we can talk about what you can do to sound more assertive. And by the way, if you are finding this helpful, like I said, drop a yes in the chat box as well. Okay. And I'm getting in all these notifications of everyone else that's joined. So very excited for the people that have joined. You guys, this is going to be amazing. Like I'm so excited for this, and I can't wait for you guys to know what it is, learn all about it, and it's gonna be epic. Super excited. Okay, so congratulations to everyone that's already joined the waitlist. I'm seeing like the emails coming in right now. Okay, you guys, let's move on now. So we are talking about sounding more assertive, and we kind of went over what to avoid. Now let's get into what you should do to sound more assertive. Okay. There's a lot of things, but I don't want to overwhelm you. I just want to talk about one of the most important things today and kind of do a deep dive into that. So there's one thing you're taking away from today. This should be it, what you should do. If you want to sound more assertive, the best thing to do is control your vocal tone. Okay. Now I know what some of you guys already know what I'm talking about. You don't want to sound monotone. So monotone is that, hi everyone, my name is Maria Malik, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about how to sound assertive. You need to completely avoid that. Okay. It is important to have a very steady and calm and confident tone because it really conveys authority and self-assurance, but you also want to make sure you're changing it up. Okay. And by doing so, what you end up doing is you're taken more seriously. And if your words are concise, it adds even more of that impact. But let's go back to tone. So, of course, you heard one thing already is to avoid speaking too softly, which can appear hesitant, or too loudly, which can actually come across as aggressive. And remember, we're not trying to overpower. We're not trying to say, hey, look at me, I want to say something. That's not the idea here. If you want to sound assertive, you have to be very deliberate about it. So, a couple of things you want to do. You want to lower your pitch slightly, okay, to change up your tone. So I know when you're excited, think of when somebody's really excited, their tone is like up here, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So you don't want to have that exciting tone. Instead, you want to have a much deeper, steadier tone that naturally sounds more assertive. So for me, this is it right here, right? Because when I typically speak, I'm soft-spoken, and then when I'm excited, my pitch is all the way up there. So you want to find that balance in between, okay? Next thing to change up your tone is decrease and increase your volume. Sometimes you will speak a little bit louder. Sometimes you will kind of bring it down. So there has to be that variation in your volume, the up and down. Think of like a graph that goes up and down in order for you to sound more assertive, okay? Another thing that you want to focus on for trying to sound more assertive and to change up your tonality is to exaggerate some words. So you're never going to speak in just that one, hi, my name is Maria Malik. I'm an executive speaking coach. No, listen to how I'm going to do it. Hi, my name is Maria Malik. I am an executive speaking coach. You see how I stretched out the I am? So you want to stretch out and exaggerate some words, and that's going to help you in your tonality so you don't sound monotone. Okay? So that's on changing up your volume and using, strategically stretching out some words. The next thing that you want to do to change up your tone and control your vocal tonality is to add in some pauses. Now, pausing between thoughts really adds some weight and emphasis to your words. I know most people are so afraid of pauses, and I feel like people think that when you pause, it makes it sound like you don't know what to say or it's going to be awkward. And yeah, it might be. It might be a little bit awkward, but do you know what that does? When you pause, and you pause deliberately, especially after saying something very important, when you pause for those 3 seconds, it does a couple of things. First of all, it allows your audience to really kind of absorb that information you gave them, because once they absorb that information, they can then continue listening and taking in more information. The second thing that it does is that it allows you a little bit of time to center yourself again, think of what you need to say. Okay, it's going to make you sound so much more confident. So embrace pausing, guys. It's very, very powerful. Just try it. Try it once and come back and tell me how that went for you. Okay. So these are a couple of things that you are going to do. And when your tone basically matches the confidence of your message, I want you guys to remember something. It commands so much respect, and it really helps establish your presence as a leader. I actually want to give you guys an example of who does this brilliantly. If you want to see this in kind of action, I do want to talk to you guys about someone that does it really well. But before I do that, one more reminder to join my waitlist if you're an introverted leader and you want to become better at public speaking, better at communication, better at those leadership roles. I'm launching something very exciting, very cool that you guys are going to love, love, love. So if you're finding this helpful, you're gonna there's gonna be so much in there for you. So if you're finding this helpful so far and you're learning, then go onto my profile and click on I want in, join the waitlist, put in your name, your email, join my waitlist, and I am going to be telling you guys very soon what it is and all about that very soon. You can also go to www.mariamalik.co. Okay. If you're just joining me, do say hello in the chat box. I am seeing a fluctuation in how many people are watching. So if you're just joining me right now, do say hello in the chat box. Let me know where you are from. All right, let's move on to an example. I want you guys to kind of think of people in your own life, first of all, who you think sounds assertive. Someone that I really admire, he's not in my life, obviously, but someone that I see on TV, someone whose interviews I watch all the time is Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft. So first of all, he's really known, and if you ever watch him and listen to him, he's known for his very calm and confident demeanor. He is an introverted leader, which makes it even better. So what does he do that makes him sound so amazing and sound very assertive, yet still maintain who he is as a speaker? He uses a very steady, a very clear and deliberate vocal tone to convey his assertiveness. At the same time, he always maintains that calm and even tone that always commands respect. So when he speaks, people go quiet and they listen to him. And it's not just because he's the CEO. I have seen many CEOs who are not very assertive and they're not taken as seriously. So Satya Nadella does it really, really well. A couple more things that he does, he pauses very strategically to emphasize his key points, and that really adds weight to his words. One more thing he does is he speaks with a lot of clarity and purpose. And what this essentially ends up doing is making his message that much more impactful. So there's a lot we can learn from him. Last thing that I feel like he does really, really well is that he demonstrates that introverted leaders can project strength and influence through assertive communication. So he's a prime example of an introvert who isn't mimicking other speaking styles, or he isn't trying to pretend to be he's somebody else, yet he's able to command a room, he's able to speak assertively, and he's taken very seriously. And again, that's the goal when we're speaking, okay? So if you haven't already, do look up Satya Nadella and look up his interviews, and you will know exactly what I mean about the assertiveness, about the calmness, about the respect that he commands, okay? All right, let's do a quick kind of summary of everything that we've talked about today. So we talked about what assertiveness is. And by the way, if you're finding this helpful, say yes in the chat box. I want to make sure that these are things that you guys are finding useful, helpful, and so I can do more of them. So hopefully, yeah, you guys are finding this helpful. Let me know in the chat box. I'm definitely going to go back and review all the messages. So we talked about what assertiveness is, and it's basically the ability to express your thoughts, your needs, and boundaries confidently and respectfully. It also balances clarity with consideration for others. The benefits of being a little bit more assertive for introverted leaders is that it builds credibility and trust. It also promotes collaboration and clear communication with your team, with maybe you're doing a presentation. It also boosts your confidence and professional growth. It's very unlikely to see people that are not assertive move up in the corporate ladder. You see it here and there, but it's just a little bit harder for them. So it definitely helps you with your professional growth. How do you sound more assertive? We talked about that. You want to control your vocal tone. Okay, you want to stay steady, calm, and confident. That's the type of tone you want to convey. So that means you want to focus on avoiding those filler words. You want to focus on your posture, sitting up straight, and you want to use very strategic pauses to kind of add in weight to your message. Do not be afraid of them. Okay. I give you guys an example, someone that you can look up right now and see, Satya Nadella. He demonstrates that calm, confident tone, uses very clear and deliberate speech when he's speaking. He also adds in a lot of pauses that command respect. And lastly, he's a great example of an introvert that can really project strength through his assertive communication. So if he can do it, you can do it, I promise you. Again, a couple of things to avoid. We want to avoid that upward inflection that makes you sound unsure. We also want to avoid speaking too softly or speaking too quickly, overusing filler words or excessive apologies, over-explaining or justifying unnecessarily, poor posture or non-verbal cues. So you want to be very deliberate with what you're doing with your hands, where you're looking, all of that stuff. Okay. So this was a quick lesson on how to sound assertive without sounding or being overpowering. Now, if you found this helpful, I have something very exciting that's going to be launching soon. So one last time, if you are interested in knowing what it is, if you're an introverted leader, you want to get better at public speaking, communication, at leadership, then make sure you join my waitlist, because then you will be automatically added into the bonuses. There's going to be contests, all this stuff, but you'll have first access to all of this stuff. So make sure you go onto my profile, click on I want in, and join waitlist, or you can go to www.mariamalik.co, mariamalik.co, and join the waitlist. I'm going to be talking about it very soon, but I can't say much yet because it's just, you'll see why. But do join, and congratulations to everyone that's already joined. I can already see a lot of emails coming in that there's all these new people on the wait list. So excited to have you guys, and we're gonna do something great with this. So hope you guys learned a lot today. If you did, again, send me a DM, tell me what you liked, what you didn't like, or if there's something you want me to kind of educate you guys on more, let me know in the chat box. Also, you can send me a DM, always open to talking to you guys. And I want to thank you all for being here today, spending this amazing Sunday with me today. And again, hope you learned a lot. I'll see you guys next time. And I promise you, I will be doing more of these lives. That's one of my goals for my LinkedIn in 2025. So I'll see you guys next time. Okay, take care. Have a fantastic Sunday, and goodbye. See you guys later.